Welcome to Engaging Recapped. New Orleans soon, a gathering of drug dealers converges. A man called Biggie, Rodrigo Santoro, gives them another product that he will provide for them free of charge to sell. It is an exceptional pill called Power that gives individuals who take it an irregular superpower for 5 minutes. Nonetheless, not every person responds to the pill that way, since some have been known to detonate seconds after ingesting. Biggie begins with one inquisitive dealer, Newt Colson Baker, who believes that it's too good to be true. Weeks after, Newt's cousin Robin, Dominique Fishback, a trying rapper, is selling power in the city. 3 thugs attempt to rob her until investigator Frank Shaver, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, acts as the hero. One of the hooligans attempts to take power, however, Frank immediately stops him and claims to capture Robin to make the others leave. Truly, he and Robin are friends since she sells him power. In any case, Frank also attempts to ensure Robin avoids the problem. He even gives her a cruiser as a late birthday present. Somewhere else in the city, a man named Art Riley, otherwise known as the Major, Jamie Foxx, goes to an apartment building to search for Newt and the source of power. Newt, having been taking a lot of control throughout the course of recent weeks, is beginning to look increasingly distorted. Art advances inside and tracks down Newt's stash of power. However, the vendor goes after his firearm and attempts to kill Art, just for Art to fire the weapon away. Newt takes power and unlocks his ability, which is to have his entire body set on fire. He pursues Art all through the complex, prior to taking 3 additional pills to attempt to bring down Art. He winds up getting dunked and submerged by Art, and just figures out how to let him know Biggie's name before power makes his body detonates. Art figures out how to get out in time. Robin's mom Irene Ward Hammond, awakens her as she is late to school, where she is battling with her grades. In class, she messages Newt to get more power. However, Art is answering since he took Newt's telephone. Robin's teacher calls her out for her absence of concentration and asks what she is great at. Her companion says she's a decent rapper and begins to make a beat for Robin to freestyle and make a diss against the teacher, driving the remainder of the class to cheer, except this was just a fantasy in Robin's head, and she goes to the principal's office as opposed to surrendering her telephone. Frank is called to answer a bank theft where a crook, Griff, Corey Demiers, is taking power to help him use camouflage abilities to evade notice. Frank takes a power pill and times himself. He pursues Griff, who nearly gets away from a train car before he opens the cash sack and is splashed with powder. Frank pursues him into a rear entryway where Griff takes his weapon and shoots him in the head. However, Frank's capacity is to some degree strong, and he brings the criminal down. Tragically, Commander Crane, Courtney B. Vance, advises Frank for using power, and he orders him to turn in his weapon and identification. Before plane leaves, Crane provides him with an image of Art, as it is accepted that he is the source of power. Later on, Art goes to search for Robin at a congregation's chicken where she for the most part meets Newt. He slices her bicycle tire and abducts her, tossing her into his trunk. Art takes her to a confined region to investigate her over where she and Newt got power, while likewise taking steps to pursue Irene. He shows Robin an image of a lady and a bald man that is presumed to have something to do with power. However, neither of them is Biggie. He gives her a number to call that should be a warehouse for power, and she is told to go to a Hong Kong market and ask for an alligator wine. Art and Robin show up at the market, and she requests for the alligator wine. She meets a man in the back called Quello, as Hakan, who takes power when she lets him know Art is outside. Different cohorts emerge to go after Art, yet he kills a large portion of them. Quello shoots Art through the chest. However, he continues to move and figures out how to debilitate Quello. In his tormented hallucination, he sees Robin as one more young lady around a similar age named Tracy, Kiana Simmons Simpson. He and Robin then find PCs that track Power's clients, with Art expressing that the producers of Power are trying it out on purchasers. A notification shows up for a show that is set to occur in under 2 hours, and a location pops up. Art requests Robin takes him there. Meanwhile, Quello, still on Power, figures out how to push the shots out of his body. He races to go after Art and Robin on the lookout. However, Art stabs him to death just as the time on his power expires. Art starts to earnestly ask Robin for help, and he says all he needs is to track down his little girl. Robin then treats Art's injuries. Frank figures out something is happening with Robin, so he goes to her home to find Irene being pestered by 2 police. He slips into the house and professes to be Irene's darling, almost ruining his disguise, yet figures out how to persuade Irene that he's a companion of Robin's to get the police off their back. Art and Robin bond more, with him expressing that he used to be a fighter, thus the major, and he discovers that she loves to rap, so she spits a couple of rhymes for him. Before they head out, Robin requests $10,000 from anything they get. On their way to the show, Art says that he was used in an experiment for power by a company called Telios, and Tracy was brought into the world with powers without taking the drug, so a Telios employee kidnapped her, and they are using her blood to make the power pills. Art's memory then, at that point, begins to blend, where he thinks Robin is Tracy, and that they are being followed, as they were, the day she was taken. Robin figures out how to wake up Art from his daydream before they crash. Art and Robin come to the show area, as does Franks since he tracked down users to the location. They sneak in and find Biggie introducing power to a South American cartel pioneer, matron Rose Bianco, by having a lady, Candy, snazzy Delissa, be a guinea pig, while her sweetheart Moto, Casey Neistat, watches. Biggie promotes the pill as having the capacities of specific animal, specifically the ones that can adapt to survive. Candy has the ability to freeze herself and control her internal heat level. In the meantime, Frank tracks down Robin and attempts to persuade her that Art is behind power, despite the fact that she knows better. Art kills a man and draws nearer to Biggie, yet he is found out, and Matron endeavors to leave with the pills, as Art holds Biggie at gunpoint. A firefight results between Biggie's men and the cartel. Candy is trapped in the exhibition chamber and is frozen to death. Art gets Biggie alone and shoots off 3 of his fingers, before he lets Art know that Gardner and her cohort Wallace, Tate Fletcher, who took Tracy, will be on a boat called Beginning. Frank endeavors to capture Art until they understand they're both working with Robin, similarly as Biggie takes power to transform into a hulking huge beast. The legends get away from the office as Biggie pursues them, however, Art opens a few gas canisters and takes shots at Biggie, causing a blast that kills him. Frank at a point captures Art, yet Art enlightens him concerning Tracy and says that Crane is taking orders from Telios. After Art allows himself to get taken by Telios to get onto the Genesis, Frank gets himself in by seriously talking to the Watchman, just for the gatekeeper to shoot him, not realizing Frank took power to become invincible once more, so he is able to get back up and sneak onto the boat. Art encounters Telios Chief Drive Gardner, Amy Landecker, who was there investigating him all along. Frank and Robin get inside and go head-to-head against the gatekeeper who powered himself to make his limbs rubbery. However, Frank traps him in an entryway that will ultimately cut off his arm. Wallace pursues them and utilization's power to gain super strength. Art persuades a Watchman to let him go when he sees that Art has a power pill in his mouth as a last resort. Wallace tracks down Art, however, he gets shot 2 times with a shotgun before Frank gets Art. Robin then, at that point, tracks down Tracy and liberates her. They battle one more gatekeeper who uses power to make his bones protrude out and use them as weapons, yet Art simply figures out how to impale him with it. He reunites with Tracy before they make their escape. As the 4 attempts to get off the boat, Gardner comes out and requests that Art surrenders with Tracy, or she will kill Robin. Art goes out to confront Gardner, yet he takes the power pill and gains the ability of a gun shrimp, permitting him to make whips that kill the thugs and drop a crane on top of Gardner. Art nearly bites the dust, yet Tracy uses her abilities to resuscitate him. The 4 are at long last ready to leave. Frank brings Robin home and plans to uncover Telios and power. Art heads out in different directions from Robin as he leaves with Tracy. Robin gets back to her mom with her portion of the money. Art and Tracy drive away together over a bridge, at last free. Now I am going to give you the history behind this movie, Project Power. Project Power is a 2020 American sci-fi activity movie coordinated by Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman, delivered by Eric Newman and Brian Unkelis, and composed by Mattson Tomlin. It stars Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Dominique Fishback, close by Coulson Cook, Rodrigo Santoro, Amy Landecker and Alan Maldonado, and follows a drug dealer, a cop, and a previous fighter who collaborate to stop the dissemination of a pill that gives the client superpowers for 5 minutes. The film was released on August 14, 2020, by Netflix. It got blended to positive surveys from pundits, who applauded the exhibitions of the cast, activity arrangements, and visuals, yet condemned the screenplay. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this.